we are moving on into a new segment, Pich. And this is interesting because I'm the teacher here, right? I'm the one that's supposed to be facilitating the learning and helping others to achieve their learning goals. And now the title of this segment is What I Learned, but you're taking the lead. What's going on in this segment, Pish?
Well, I thought it was a good idea if I could talk about briefly what I learned from all the Magic games, because this is the first season I've ever been able to watch all the games, and I'm watching all the games this season. So I thought it'd be fun if I checked in with just a little blurb about what I learned as I go along the way, because unlike you, who is a teacher and can teach his knowledge to the class, my knowledge is usually basketball or comedy related. So why not pop those in one segment and tell everybody what I learned about basketball and in the Orlando Magic? So I feel like this is my wheelhouse. Have a seat at the desk, sir. I'll be taking the apple from my desk on this one, and let's go ahead down
Lay
through
it
the
on me,
row here,
Pish.
game by game. So, well, we had the 7 games that took place since the last show. The first one was against Charlotte. During that game, I learned that Myles Bridges isn't a lengthy overpass in New Hampshire. I wasn't really familiar with his work, but that's on me. He's a very good player. He's taken that next jump into perhaps superstardom.
Yeah, it could be most improved player of the year this year.
Hard to argue against that, although maybe Cole Anthony. I don't know.
Ooh,
I
like.
So then they played against Toronto, and I learned that the Raptors have a player named Og. Seems like a weird name. I mean, unless he is from cave times. Not really sure about that one. Also picked up Scottie Barnes is probably a lot better than we thought he was going to be. What do you think about that?
I mean, yeah, I think that's true. I always was hoping that he was going to be a great player. I didn't want him on our team because we've already got a bunch of good forwards and they're all playing really well. But I'm happy that he's doing well, and we got our guy too. So it's all good, Toronto. Okay, peace, Toronto, peace. We come in peace. You can stop adding us on Twitter. We don't care.
They are trying to turn that into some sort of weird rivalry.
They really
and
are.
Those two guys are kind of friendly with each other, and it doesn't really matter to anybody but fans. So get over it. Then we went to play against Detroit, and that's where I learned that Kelly Olynyk is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. This guy just produces all over the court.
Yep.
Well, my guy over here is telling me that he doesn't always produce at that level. So no Hall of Fame, just All-Star game? No, probably not. Oh, okay. Maybe I need to see more Kelly Olynyk, but he looked like a Hall of Famer to me in that game.
Yeah, when he's not against the Magic, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. Then we went to play at Minnesota, and this is the game that I would entitle The Rise of Franz. 28 points from him, 31 also from Cole. But let's be honest, Franz was the man making noise in that game with the bringing the German hammer to the table, which I think we're going to talk about later. So I'll just move on from there. Then we came home. We took on the Boston Celtics, and this was when I learned how much I miss that coverage from NBA.TV and getting to watch the Magic game at home, because I was blacked out because I live here in Boston and I had to watch the NBC Boston coverage, which stinks. And I had to listen.
Oh, you didn't like the White Mamba? The White Mamba?
Nah.
Ryan Scalabrine? No?
Not after being so used to hearing the Magic stuff, and I missed out on David Steele, and was something going to be anything? I missed that whole spiel, and I really did miss it. And that's when it really came to fruition that, man, I hadn't been watching these games properly my entire life. Now I know. And that's
now you're home.
Battle.
Now you're home.
G.I. Joe. All right. And then, so then we took on the San Antonio Spurs. And what I learned here is the San Antonio Spurs really have the Orlando Magic's number. They got us in the preseason. They've got us twice in the regular season already, despite not having a team of guys that you've heard of or should know about. They're playing way above their head, so far above their head. They beat my other team, the Milwaukee Bucks. They're legit 3-7 right now as we were recording this, and all 3 wins are against my favorite teams. So apparently the Spurs, who their G League team was in Austin, where I just moved from, are exacting a little revenge for me leaving town. And that's totally fine.
Dude, it's your fault. I'm putting that one on you. I'm putting those losses on you. The Cosmos is after you, dude.
We don't play them again all season, so it's over now.
Okay. It's overdone. It's done.
Wow. And then lastly, we played against Utah. And of course, we all know that Cole Anthony had 33 points. And RJ Hampton was in at the end of the game, which is great. We'll talk about that in a little bit. My thing to note here was the line from WCJ, who put up 22 points, 15 boards, and 6 assists. This guy was all over the court. He played such a great full game. He looked confident. He was going to the hole strong. And that's the guy that we need to see all the time. That's the guy that when you look at that contract, you're like, is this something? Yes. Ring the bell. He played well. And that was, yes, Cole played well, but it was his play, I think, that made that real difference. He was the other guy who stepped up and produced. So, and on a fun fact note, I'm pretty sure that Quinn Snyder is a young Doc Brown from Back to the Future. If you take a look at that guy on the sideline, his hair is crazy. He looks bizarre. I don't know if he always looks like he just woke up from a nap or something. Like what's with this guy? Can we get this guy a stylist or something?
He looks like he would be a perfect cast for some type of Marvel villain. Like he does look like he's got some things going on, some evil machinations. Yep. You know, there's definitely something in the dark underbelly of Quinn Snyder that we need to get to the bottom of. And that's a whole other pod.
I had not thought about it until you just said this, but now that you mention it, I could totally see him putting together like a pair of golden boots with like 5 gemstones on it and just like kicking out half of the universe. He looks like that dude. So overall, from watching all of the 7 games, here is my fun stat of the week that I want to focus on. The Magic at this point in the season have been averaging 16.5 turnovers a game, which is too many. But here's what's fun about it. We have 3 wins this season against the Knicks, the T-Wolves, and the Jazz. Those were our 3 lowest turnover games of the season. So if we keep it at 13 turnovers or less, we win the game. Anything over that, we lose. There's a reason that some stats exist, and there's a reason that they matter. And I know the difference may only be 4 or 5 possessions, but sometimes that's all you need to stay in the game or stay around and where you need to be. And in some closer games like the Pistons game and the Raptors game, those extra few possessions would have made the difference. So that's my insight. That's what I learned from the Magic games.
Wow. Pich, it was great to go to the schoolyard with you, man. Thanks
for coming.
Thank you for that playground knowledge, my friend. I think we got to keep that. I like those Pich rundowns, some light statistics with the heavy comedy. I dig it, man. Thanks for the last.